Hey guys, so today we're going to be doing a recap of all the films and TV shows and everything that I watched in 2021. This feels very strange. It feels extremely strange today, guys, because I haven't filmed in like a month. I just need to get back into the groove of things. There are certain reasons for why I have barely been posting recently, but we're not going to be talking about that today. Okay, let's get on to my diary. Let's go all the way back to January, Jesus. So the first one was The Gentleman, which I watched on the 3rd. This film has so many swear words. I don't think I've heard so many of the C word. I don't think I've heard that word so many times in any film that I have watched. And I watched a lot of movies. The film in general, fun. I don't know, it's exciting, it was good. Then we have Aliens. It was a very intense movie, different to the first one. The first one was very much sci-fi horror. This one was sci-fi action. Still trying to decide if I like the sequel more. I'm stuck. Side note, that queen is disgusting and I hate her. Literally, the tube that she was giving birth like got ripped out of her vagina. Like, it was weird. That queen was so gross. She caught an elevator up on her own. How does an alien do that? Then we had Pulp Fiction. So Pulp Fiction, obviously an iconic film. High dialogue movies are not always for everyone. Some people are drawn to its characters, some dialogue, some plot, some action, some are more visual style. Depends on who is watching it. Quentin Tarantino films, I like them, but they're not rewatchable films for me. I don't know if I feel bad saying this. It was okay, and I feel like a lot of people are going to be like, what are you talking about? It's Pulp Fiction, it's iconic, you should love it. But I mean, like, I didn't love it. Then we had WandaVision. I wish I liked WandaVision more than I did. I enjoyed it. It was strange because this was the first Marvel MCU TV show that we were getting on Disney+. And I think everyone was really excited for it, at least majority of people. I think because the episodes come out every single week, one at a time, the fan base would just create theories every single week. It's like, what does this mean? What does this mean? And if you have not seen it or do not know about it, spoiler, Evan Peters turns up as Quicksilver. Everyone went berserk. I was sitting here on my bed when I was watching that. I was like, are you fucking serious? Quicksilver, Evan Peters, what is happening? And it wasn't even him. It wasn't even the character. Like, it just, Kevin Feige, I hate you sometimes. Then we had Vertigo. I don't remember anything from this. I watched this one night, I believe, out of nowhere, and I know it's an iconic film. I know everyone knows about it. It's Hitchcock. What do you expect? Watching a Hitchcock movie, you appreciate so many different things from like a filmmaker, a film cinema perspective, technique-wise, but when it comes down to the story and the characters, I really didn't care, but I appreciated the film for what it was and how it was visually put together. Charlie's Angels, fucking hated this movie. I love the 2000 and 2003 sequel, the originals, those two movies, love. This remake was fucking horrible. I hated it. Why did I watch it? It has bloody Noah Centineo in it. Why do I watch it? I hate him. Someone told me to watch it and I hated it. Absolutely hated it. Despised it. It was so pointless. It was so stupid. Then ending off January was Spree, which stars Joe Keery, Steve from Stranger Things. Very strange movie. The whole idea of social media and stuff felt very relatable, but the actual killing of people and him killing people, like, that's just absolutely ridiculous. Nothing really has kept being like memorable for me about this movie. I don't really remember much from it. Joe Keery was really good in it though. Like, he was messed up, like mentally, he was very fucked up in the head, and he played the character well, so I gotta commend him for that, I guess. Then we move into February, and we started February off with the shit film. I was extremely excited for Wonder Woman 1984. Pretty much my review, my little snippet review of this movie on Letterboxd sums up really how I felt. Once Diana started flying and monologuing in the clouds with Adagio in D minor playing, I was done. This was incredibly cheesy and cringe and was not good whatsoever. The only thing that I liked about this movie was the score. Hans Zimmer, he was incredible and amazing, and he'll always be amazing because every single score he does is amazing. Love the music, everything else horrible. trash. Throw it in the bin. Then we had E.T. the Extraterrestrial. E.T. I enjoyed. I thought it was sweet, kind of creepy. E.T. the alien was a little bit bleh. It was kind of a bit gross, but also kind of cute at the same time. I liked the relationship between him and the kid. I thought that was quite adorable. I teared up a little bit, I believe, in the end. A little bit. E.T. was okay. Steven Spielberg, John Williams. That score is great. Like, it's an iconic movie, but I wouldn't say it is the best of all time. Then we continued February with Promising Young Woman. This film had me going up and down, up and down, and up and down, and I've done 180s on this movie. I have been all over the place with this film. I'm the kind of person that doesn't really take things seriously when I watch movies. So like, I'm kind of in my own fantasy world. So when certain things happen in movies, I'm like, oh, I wish this would happen. I was a hopeless romantic in this movie, watching it the first time. Once rewatching it multiple times while editing it, I'm like, that is a major red flag. Whereas when I was first watching it, I was not like that. Good movie, Carey Mulligan, amazing. Cinematography was amazing. The ending was not what I expected. Didn't expect that to happen, but I'm okay with that ending. High School Musical 2 is how we're ending off February, and this movie I watched for the first time with my friend Chammy, and it was bloody ridiculous. It was so insane. High School Musical 2, I think, is fun. It's definitely a fun time, and I mean, Bet On It got stuck in my head so badly. Him just like singing across the golf course, in the sand, in the bunker, along the water, in the swimming pools, like, can you get more angsty than Zac Efron in that moment? I do not think so. I do think I enjoy the first one more though. I think I like the first one more than the second one, but it was an enjoyable time. Then we move into March, and starting off with The Map of Tiny Perfect Things. This movie was sweet. It was a groundhog film where these two kids are repeating the same day, obviously, over and over again. It was a nice film. It was cute. I can't remember the ending and if they got out of it or how they got out of it. I don't remember exactly, but I remember actually kind of enjoying it. I think it was just something easy breezy to sit and watch, and they were good main characters. Then we had Chaos Walking. Oh my god, this movie gave me emotional whiplash. So Chaos Walking with Tom Holland and Daisy Ridley, I was extremely excited for this movie because I really like both of them. There were two situations where I absolutely bawled my eyes out, that I was just like, fuck this movie, and I'm just bawling my eyes out at the back of the cinema. We were in the back row, and I'm just crying so bad. I could not watch it. Like, I couldn't, and I will never rewatch this movie, especially because of that situation and what happened there. I can't. I didn't have a fun time with this movie. I was very emotional and crying and very upset, very much a mess. The screenplay, it's just kind of all over the place. Then we have The Babysitter, Killer Queen. When we watched this for the channel, I hated it. I still hate it, and I continue to hate it. The first one was actually like fun, the first movie, but this sequel was horrible. There were so many pop culture references that I just wanted to kill myself after a while, and it was just stupid, and the twists, and just, it was horrible. This is a bad movie. Don't watch it. Don't even bother. Like, seriously, don't bother watching this movie. It is shit. Then I watched Soul, and this movie I was not really prepared and not sure what to expect from this, because it's based off like our main character who is in his 40s and he's going through like a midlife crisis. So it's very different to pretty much all other Pixar movies. Very weird concept, but very interesting to watch. I enjoyed the film. I did enjoy it. I thought it was good. The music was really good as well. The animation was obviously amazing because it's Pixar. It looked great. It was okay though. It wasn't like absolutely amazing. So next was Raya and the Last Dragon. Wasn't Awkwafina in this? I believe she voiced the dragon, I think. It was alright. There was good things about it, but it wasn't like something that was extremely memorable to me. I don't really remember much from this movie at all. I enjoyed it for what it was. I thought it was a good time, but nothing too incredible and spectacular. Then I watched the Apple original film Cherry. I really didn't like this movie at all. It was just so boring, but very depressing, extremely depressing. This movie is so sad, and just like, there's nothing really happy about this movie. There's just death and drug use and just sadness and mental health issues, PTSD, like it just, everything is so sad and just horrible. And some movies, obviously, they don't necessarily have to be a fun time to watch, and you don't have to like enjoy it the whole whole way through, but they can still have like characters that you root for, or like, you know, a really good screenplay or really good music or visually look really good. But the Russos directing this with Tom Holland, just not my thing. Then I ended March off with a fucking amazing movie, and that is Gladiator. I was very emotional watching it. The score by Hans Zimmer I had heard so many times before watching this film, and finally I watched the movie. I was able to connect the music with actual scenes in the movie, and it was just so satisfying. I watched this at my parents' house on their big projector screen, and it looked incredible. It looked so good. The acting was great. Amazing, like I cannot say anything bad about it. Then we started off April with Rocketman. This film was snubbed, completely snubbed. This was Oscar snubbed, mate. Like, Rocketman was so good. The acting, the story was just, it was very sad, but I loved the whole musical aspect to it. I think that the way that they integrated all of his music and his songs into the character's storyline was just so interesting, very unique, and really made it something special. And Taron Egerton was so good. Everyone was so good acting in this, and just the hair and makeup and the costumes, just the production of it, everything just was nailed it. Then I finally watched 2001: A Space Odyssey. I also watched this on my parents' projector screen with like the surround sound speaker system. I'm gonna say incredible, but also very, very weird. Like that ending, I pretty much was me just saying, what the fuck? What the fuck? My mum had seen it and she watched it with me, and she was looking at me like, are you right there? I'm so happy I waited and watched this at my parents' house. I'm so happy. If I had watched this on my brother's TV or like on my laptop, it would not have been the experience that I had. How, and like that ending with the baby, like what the fuck? What the fuck is this movie? Like, this movie is so weird, but I can see why it's iconic. Then I watched all 3 Godfather films. Now, I am not a crime mob person. If you know anything about me, I don't like mob movies. I don't like them. They are not my thing. So watching the Godfather films for the first time, all 3 of them, was an experience. It was an extreme experience. 1, because they're so long, and 2, I wasn't sure what I was getting into. So I'm gonna say the first one is the best. Really enjoyed the first one. That last scene, the last scene in the first movie, holy fuck. Then we got to part 2. I didn't like it as much, and everyone says the sequel is better than the first one. I disagree completely. I just wasn't into the dual storyline. I think that's what it was, and I just enjoyed the storyline of the first movie more. Third one, I mean, it was passable. Then I watched Apocalypse Now, also on my parents' big screen. This movie was so boring. I am extremely sorry for people who love Apocalypse Now, but this was a fight to get through. This movie was so long. There was an animal situation that I couldn't watch. It was intense, and it was definitely worth watching to tick it off my list, to finally see it and say that I've experienced it. But I'm happy I've pretty much forgotten most of that movie, because it was fucking tiresome. It was so exhausting watching that movie. I just needed it to be over, and it finally ended, and I was very happy when it finally ended. I'm like, I need a break. Then I watched Close Encounters of the Third Kind. Pretty much this sums up my thoughts, yeah? My Letterboxd review. Act 1, this is too scary. Act 2, the animals aren't dead, right? Act 3, John Williams, crying face. The last scene in this movie, wow. The translation with sound and color and visuals with the aliens was just such a amazing sight to see. I visually really enjoyed it. I watched this on the big screen as well, and it looked great. It looked great watching it on a projector. It just sounded amazing, looked amazing. Really enjoyed the movie. Then I watched all 3 of the Descendants movies. The wigs were incredible in some of them. Some of the wigs, I'm like, you look fantastic. I want that wig, gorgeous. And then some of them, I'm like, that wig is horrible. What have you done to her? My younger cousins have the soundtrack, and they would play it on the in the car and stuff, and I'm just like, shit, this is a banger. They were pretty good, some of the songs are quite enjoyable, but the films are just, you know, the cheesy, easy watches, nothing special, pretty ridiculous, but I can see if I was a kid, I would have fucking loved it. My parents would have hated me because I would have had these on countless times if I was 5 years old. Then I watched The Descent. This is a very strange movie. This was an intense horror of just an all-female cast stuck in a cave with these kind of semi-human beast creature thingies killing them. It's very claustrophobic, very intense, very what the fuck, very oh my god kind of movie. I found out there's actually 2 endings. There is the ending that continues on and there is more to it, which is the one that I watched, and then there's the US one which like cuts off. I personally like the ending that I watched. If I watched the US version and it ended there, it's like they're treating people like they're dumb. Why wouldn't the ending be the same for all of them with the ending that I watched, the extended ending? I think that's so much better. Then I watched Emma. This is my review of Emma. I swear the peak of sexual chemistry is always during dance scenes and period dramas. Fact. That is fact. Emma's really good. I like it. Anya Taylor-Joy is amazing. She's fantastic. Love her. I like the chemistry with her and the dude, I can't remember his name. In general, I enjoyed the movie. Thought it was sweet, thought it was cute. Then I watched for 4 hours the 4-hour length movie extended edition of Zack Snyder's Justice League. The characters were good, the writing was much better, we got so much more in depth with the characters, Cyborg was so much more involved, and I really enjoyed his storyline from what I can remember. You very much have Zack Snyder's signature style on this film, you can tell it's his movie. Not just the slow-mo, but like the desaturation, there's like barely any colour in this. I was exhausted watching it. By the time I finished it, I'm like, I'm over it, I need to sleep, I need a nap, I was hungry, I was tired, I was dead. So yeah, it's something I think you should pace because it is a 6-chapter movie. So really, I think you can like watch one half and then come back like, you know, an hour later and watch the second half, or split it over 2 nights if you want. It was okay though. Passable grade. And then I ended April with The Falcon and Winter Soldier. This show was enjoyable. I'm very much a Bucky fan. I love Bucky, like I love Bucky. There were certain people that very much did not like this show because of the political side to things. The fact that you have a black person becoming Captain America and replacing Steve Rogers, like you can't ignore that as a fact in this kind of show. And if you don't want to watch a show about that, then just don't watch the show. But I think saying that they shouldn't have addressed the politics around his character, or around Sam's character, I think is very stupid and would have been a very missed opportunity and wouldn't have made sense story-wise to not talk about it. So I actually enjoyed the political side to things, and obviously Sam and Bucky have such great chemistry. They're amazing. I love the parts where they're in therapy together and stuff. I think it's just so much fun. Their banter and their chemistry with each other is great. Nothing too extreme, nothing too like crazy. I think it was just an enjoyable show, and I had a fun time with it. We watched The Conjuring on the channel, and that was a bloody experience. The Conjuring by James Wan. Great movie, but the clap clap, no thank you. That is probably one of the scariest and best jump scares I have ever watched on screen. Like, it is top tier jump scares of all time for me in a horror movie. The anticipation of not knowing what's going to happen, I'm freaking out. It's very much solidified James Wan as one of my favorite directors of all time. I think he's absolutely incredible. I enjoy watching them because visually they just look great. They look stunning. I love how he directs the camera. Yeah, The Conjuring, fucking scary. Then I watched The Princess Bride. Everyone talks about The Princess Bride. Iconic, so many lines that people quote, and I didn't know they were from this movie. I'm like, holy shit, I hear that quote all the time, and it's from The Princess Bride. This was so fun. I think I liked it because Shrek and The Princess Bride have such similarities, and I love Shrek, like that's my childhood. Great storyline, characters, it was fun, funny, something lighthearted and easy to put on, and I definitely enjoyed myself watching it. Then I watched Army of the Dead, and holy shit, this movie. When I was watching it, I was like, shit, no, I don't want this character to die, don't want him to die, oh, I really like this, oh, this is shot really well. Upon reflection, upon rewatching this movie, I am not a fan of the shallow depth of field. It's just too blurry. Shallow depth of field can be used very effectively in shots, but when shallow depth of field is consistently used throughout an entire film, I was over it. I was just like, I can't see shit. It's too fuzzy. It's too out of focus. Like Zack Snyder, just give me some focus. Just give me something because I can't see. I cannot see. Then I watched the rom-com All My Life. All My Life is about a couple and it's based on a true story, and he gets sick and and yeah, that's all I remember. You know those films where it's like, this is a rom-com, this is sad, one of them gets ill, blah blah blah, like it's just one of those easy watches that's meant to be sad and meant to be heartbreaking, not special, pass on it. Then I started June off with a fucking banger, and that is Inside by Bo Burnham. This movie is my favorite of 2021. I know that some people probably wouldn't consider it a movie. What Bo Burnham did with this film is so unique and something that I do not see many people being able to do. What he put together by himself, he did this whole movie himself from start to finish. This is one of the most relatable films I have ever watched. I have listened to the soundtrack that many times that I know all the lyrics to every single song. It was so unique. Every single song had its own vibe. So meta, amazing. Bo Burnham is just the best. It's a comedy special. It's not like a movie, but I consider it a movie. It is a comedy special, but very depressing at the same time. It's pretty depressing, but in a fun and hilarious way, because it's really funny at the same time, obviously, because he's hilarious. I also watched Cruella the same day, and this movie was shit. So I went from one which was absolutely amazing to something that was just like, what even is this? Emma Stone, I enjoy Emma Stone. She is a really good actress. Crazy Stupid Love is one of my favorite films. I think she is amazing, but this movie was pointless and I don't know why it was made. Disney was just like, we're going to make a Cruella movie just to make a Cruella movie. Then I watched Saw, continuing our James Wan eventful 2021 year. Saw was disgusting, absolutely disgusting.
Disgusting!
I liked the dual storylines of having the detectives trying to figure out who Jigsaw is, and then you have the two guys obviously stuck in the bathroom. It was very intense, claustrophobic, but I enjoyed it for what it was. I'm not going to say anything about that ending, but that ending just... seriously, I did not see that ending coming, and it was so worth it and so satisfying, and it was just pretty much holy shit. I sat there speechless. I literally was speechless after watching this. I ended June with In the Heights. I thought that this was an okay movie, nothing special. The music moments though were great. I really enjoyed the music moments and the dancing, the choreography, really liked it. But the overall story, I didn't really care for it. July, we watched Black Widow. That was our opening of the month, and this movie needed to be released earlier. When Captain America Winter Soldier released, I think everyone was pretty much, we're on the Natasha train. We are pro Natasha, we love her, we love Black Widow. Instead, they waited years and years and years to release this, and I think it would have done so much better if it came out after Civil War. Personally, I think so, because I still think that at that time, people would have liked a Natasha film. They would have liked a Black Widow film at that time. The opening scene for this was so intense. I really liked it. Like sitting at the cinema and watching that opening scene, I was like, shit, this is good. Yelena, Florence Pugh, knocked it out of the park. I love her. I just thought that she was so flawless, and I'm very excited to see her future in the MCU. Then we finished watching Loki, and holy shit, I love Loki. If you don't know anything about me, Tom Hiddleston fan here, right now. Like, I love him so much, and Loki is one of my favorite characters. The ending for this set up a lot. We're obviously going to get a season 2. I also was shipping them hardcore. I was down for their relationship, and I was like, yes, please make it happen. It was really sad though. There were certain points where I'm like, I literally was crying because of Tom Hiddleston. The scenes of him when he was watching his sort of future, he has had such a shit life. I listen to music all the time. I love the score. The original score is fantastic. I think it looked great, loved the concept. Owen Wilson was hilarious. I love the characters, love the storyline. I think it was a really good time, and I will rewatch it. Then we finished July with A Quiet Place Part 2. Good film. I don't remember much from the first one, so I can't really compare. The second film was intense. I was missing though John Krasinski. I really like John Krasinski, and I was missing him. Seeing Cillian Murphy in there, I was like, yes, give me Cillian Murphy, give me Cillian Murphy. Sound design is great in the first and second, so I can't say anything bad about that. The opening scene of the flashback before everything happened, when the alien things first arrived, crazy. Then we got into August with Insidious. We started that month off with another James Wan, and Insidious, holy shit, I need to watch the sequel so badly. I haven't watched it yet. This movie was so scary. Insidious, like James Wan movies, are so scary. Why are they so scary? He nails jump scares and suspense and intense moments. He really knows what he is doing, and Insidious was great. Really enjoyed it. That demon devil thing, whatever the fuck that was, I hated it. The bride, like the ending has left us on a cliffhanger and I need to know what happens. So yes, I'm going to be jumping onto that soon. Then I watched another Pixar, Ratatouille, for the first time. I had not watched Ratatouille before and I really liked it. It was sweet, it was cute. It's not my favorite. A lot of people's favorite is Ratatouille. The animation obviously looked amazing. It was set in Paris. It was very sweet. I loved the characters and their like relationship. Yeah, had a really good morals to the story. So enjoyable and yeah, I really liked it. Then we followed it up with Here's All That, a remake to She's All That, the 90s film. Why? That is my only question. Why? This movie is so shit. I watched it, I'm like, why the fuck did I watch this movie? Why would I watch this movie? It's so bad. It was bad, it was not good. She literally threw horse shit in his face. Who does that? It was so cheesy. They did TikTok dances and it was just, oh, it was horrible. Oh, it was so bad. It's not even a so bad it's good movie. It's not. The acting is just, kill me now. I want to erase this from my memory forever. Then we watched The Conjuring 2, another James Wan movie. The second film wasn't scarier than the first. I thought it was scarier than the first, but then I rewatched part of the first one. I'm like, oh, maybe the first one is scarier. They're both very scary. It was a good time. But yeah, not watching that anytime soon. Then we finished off with another James Wan, Malignant. Finally watched Malignant, and Jesus, this movie. This is a holy shit movie. Some of the stuff that went down in this, I'm like, what the actual fuck? I predicted stuff so early with this movie, and I was very proud of myself. It is extremely violent. Yes, very, very gruesome. The twists along the way, really fun. I highly recommend it. I know some people did like the ending, some didn't. It was just an insane roller coaster ride, pretty much. Then in October, we finally finished Squid Game. We watched all of Squid Game on the channel. This show, fucking all over the place in regards to how it treated me. I was upset so much, and then just constant anger. I was just very angry and more and more angry just at everything and everyone. Such a good show, really, really good. It'll tug on your heartstrings. So many twists and turns, so many surprises, so much death. Then I wanted to watch another Korean show and I watched My Name. If you have not watched My Name, it is on Netflix. Highly recommend. The main girl in it, love her. Love her. The final episode, I was sitting in my bed at 5 a.m. bawling my eyes out. I was literally ugly crying. The finale killed me. But the action is so good in this. The action, the story, the characters. No reason not to watch it, guys. I think there's like 8 episodes, maybe. Something like that. So fun. One of the best shows I've watched in a really long time. One of my favorites of this year so far. Then we went downhill with After We Fell. We literally fell downhill with this. This movie is shit. The After series is shit. The franchise is horrible. How it is still going, I do not know. But people still watch it. I watched it. So people are still watching it. Their chemistry is non-existent and their toxic relationship is so frustrating. I'm like, you literally just argued and you're arguing about why you're arguing. These people are horrible. Both of them are stupid and horrible people and should just not be in relationships with each other or with other people. And apparently there's 2 more movies. 2. Is there 2 more books? Is that why there's 2 more movies? Oh, fuck my life. I don't want to deal with it anymore, but you know, I choose to do this to myself. Then I watched Doon for the first time. So I have seen this twice now. The first time I watched it, I didn't enjoy it as much as the second time I watched it, which was at the cinema. The experience of the sounds, the visuals, it's just on a whole other level at the cinemas. The chairs, the cinema was vibrating. It was that loud and that intense. At home though, when I first watched it, it was quite underwhelming. Not underwhelming, just like not as good as I wanted it to be. So I think that really shows the difference in how a cinema experience can influence how good a movie is. The entire movie needs subtitles because they mumble and do more mumbling. I'm like, what the fuck are you saying? What are you saying? I cannot hear shit. I cannot hear shit. What are you talking? What is the dialogue right now? Yes, this is part 1 and there is going to be a part 2, but it's just like, there's so much more to happen. There's so much more. And it felt just like incomplete, and it's setting up for part 2, and I'm so happy it's been greenlit to have a sequel because Zendaya is barely in this movie. There is like 0 Zendaya in this movie. It's like she is non-existent in this film except for in dream sequences. Then we ended October with the Suicide Squad. The new Suicide Squad, not the old one, not the shitty one. I hate the original Suicide Squad, like it's so shit. It's really not good. The only good thing that came out of it was Margot Robbie as Harley Quinn. This movie, meh. It was fine. Apparently they've set up another TV show or movie for John Cena's character. I'm like, why? It's much more violent. It's extremely violent. There's a lot of death. So it's very much the Suicide Squad in this movie. There's a lot of dying. Then we got into November and we started it off with a movie called Turkey Drop. I do not know why I watched this movie. It's based around Thanksgiving, so that's probably why I watched it in November, even though Thanksgiving isn't a thing in Australia. It was bad. It's like a romantic comedy drama with what's her face. I don't even remember the actress's name. It's pretty much been erased from my memory. This isn't a thing. Don't watch this movie. There's no point to it. Then I continued my K-drama marathon with the show Nevertheless and really enjoyed it. I've gotten into a K-drama sort of frenzy recently and really like this show, except the main guy is so toxic. Holy fuck. He's like playing with her feelings the entire show. I'm like, dude, yes, you're hot, but fuck, stop being an asshole. Be with her or don't be with her, or agree to just be like friends with benefits or what. Just make up your mind. Then we watched the final Bond film with Daniel Craig, No Time to Die. So my Letterboxd review, I think, pretty much sums up my thoughts. Pros: Hans Zimmer, cinematography, action scenes, first hour. Cons: Rami mumbling. I love you, Rami, but I had no idea what you were saying half the time. I did feel very satisfied with the conclusion of the movie, of the franchise, of the series with Daniel Craig. Nothing's gonna beat Casino Royale for me. Casino Royale is literal perfection in my eyes. Mads Mikkelsen is the perfect Bond villain. Then I watched Taylor Swift's All Too Well short film. I am not a Taylor Swift fan. I'm not a Taylor Swift hater. I'm very much just, you know, in the middle road of all that. I thought it was okay. It was a short film. It was 10 minutes. It was good. The acting was good. Some people are a lot more invested in Taylor Swift, so I don't really have many thoughts on her. On the background with Jake Gyllenhaal, apparently this is about him. I don't have many thoughts on that whatsoever. But yeah, it was alright. Then I watched Chungchi. Chungchi, holy okay. Simu was absolutely amazing as Sean, as Shang-Chi. Loved him. He was such a good main character. The music was incredible. I listened to this score all the bloody time. It's a badass film that had great action choreography and was filmed to perfection. Like, the directing of this was so good. The stunt coordinators fucking blew my mind. Con to this, the CGI. What? You have millions and millions of dollars put into the budget for these movies. How was it that bad? The fucking blue screen. So bad. Then I watched a movie called Time Is Up with Bella Thorne, and I have no idea why I watched this movie, and I regret it completely. This is probably the worst movie I've watched in many, many years. It was shit, it was horrible, it was bad, no. Then I watched Venom, Let There Be Carnage. This 90-minute runtime is so bad. It's not enjoyable. It was non-stop. There was literally no quiet moments whatsoever. The screenplay was a total mess. It's literally, we're gonna grab this, and just chuck it on paper, and that's it. Have fun. Woody Harrelson is such an incredible actor. Tom Hardy is such a good actor. Michelle Williams, amazing. What have you given them? The script is so horrible. I'm sorry, there's literally no good thing I can say about this movie. There's nothing positive that I can say about this film. Then I watched Coraline for the first time. Now, the thing is that I did a commentary for Coraline, and it has been pending because of copyright issues for the last fucking month. Hopefully it will be out there eventually, but it has been an absolute bitch. Coraline, it was good. It was fucking creepy, guys. How is this appropriate for children? I have zero clue. This is not a child, friendly film. The button eyes and what she turns into. What? I don't even know. Do not let your children watch Coraline. I'm sorry. Then I watched Last Night in Soho, which is up on the channel if you want to watch that. The new Edgar Wright film. The twists and turns. It was very strange. It's a strange film. It's not my favorite Edgar Wright film. I don't think anything's gonna beat Baby Driver anytime soon. It's not the best movie that I've ever seen. It's not amazing, but the general style of it, the story, I was just very confused at points as well about how it was working. I would suggest watching it because Edgar Wright is amazing and I love him and he's a great director and one of the best working at the moment. So I would just suggest seeing it if you can to, make up your own mind. Then we get into December and we started with The Hating Game. Oh my God, love this rom-com. This is probably one of the best rom-coms I have seen in such a long time. So this is based off a book, a contemporary romance book that I have read. This is a really good translation of the book to movie adaptation. There are certain scenes that I wish that they had put in or things that I wish that they had changed because I really like the book and they did bring that that heat and some of that hotness to the movie as well. I think their chemistry between the two leads is really good. It's not a masterpiece of cinema. I wouldn't say it's the most amazing thing I've ever seen, but it is one that I've rewatched. I've rewatched this multiple times because I really enjoyed it. Highly recommend The Hating Game if you're wanting a good rom-com. Then I watched SpiderMan No Way Home. I feel like I should do a dedicated video and I have a feeling I'll probably end up doing a dedicated video to this. I need to just plan out a whole video because I feel like it's going to be a long ass video and a bitch to put together. This is one of the most satisfying films I have ever watched. Emotionally, as a person, as an MCU fan, as a Spider-Man fan, there was one specific thing that I wanted to happen, and it happened. And it happened at near the start of the film. I'm like, holy fuck. There were certain things that I critique about it. There would be certain things that I'd be from a film perspective, there are some things that I'd be I wish that hit better and that hit there. I think if you went to see the movie within the first week of it coming out, the first few days, you will know what I mean when I say that the cinema felt every emotion possible. Then I watched Zoe's Extraordinary Christmas, which is a sort of Christmas special for Zoe's Extraordinary Playlist. It was okay, it was fine, but the actual series, I love the series way more. So if you haven't seen the show, I would highly recommend the show. It's based around a girl who gets the abilities and the powers to be able to hear people's mental monologues and feelings through song. And some of it is so depressing. There are points where I cry watching it, but then there's also moments where I'm so happy. I highly recommend the show. Watch it if you have not. And the most recent thing that I have watched is Hawkeye. I finished it last night and this show is a fun time. It was enjoyable. Learning more about Clint and him going deaf, when we got a little bit more deeper into his character, I was yes, I'm into this. I always really liked him and I felt like he was totally underused. When they introduced more of him in Age of Ultron, I was yes, I want more of Clint. I really liked Haley Steinfeld. I think she was really good in this as well. I enjoyed her character. I think it was a good contribution and the Steve Rogers musical is just, I would pay money to go see that. So as of filming, I still haven't seen The Matrix Resurrections. I don't know what my thoughts are on that yet. I am very much anticipating it. The Matrix is my favorite film. So we shall see. Okay, well, that is 2021 summed up. All the movies and shows and miniseries and everything that I watched going into 2022. what is going on. This world is a bit crazy at the moment. Don't see much really changing next year. Well, I hope you guys enjoyed, and I'll talk to you guys later.